This is what's called Micronesia, the Federated States of Micronesia. Yeah. See, when we lived on Guam, yes, consists of the Caroline Islands, archipelago, Eastern Pacific Ocean. Yeah. And then the U.S. administered trust territory of the Pacific Islands became self-governing in free association with the United States. Yeah. Can you give me all the actual possessions, territories, and states of the United States? Having worked for the Center for Micronesian Empowerment when we were on Guam, yeah, I did work with a large number of Micronesians and I did go to their churches, yes. Now, I think that the world needs to get educated, and we need to do something as a world so that all these individuals that are employees and volunteers, their bodies are used as a way, right, to prevent disease from happening in nations of the world. Yes. Now, I've had a real reluctance to the idea of this. Yeah. But I think it would work. And I think that there's a lot of product out there that happens to be causing a lot of problems. Now, there's only 106,000 individuals in Micronesia. Right. American aid is crucial to the island's economy. Yeah. Now, well, here's Israel. Okay. 7,707,000. Oh, look at with 20,770 square feet. There's really not a lot of you over there. There's closer to 8 million. Yes. And you decided you're going to do what? See, I'm going to sue each and every world leader that belongs to the Illuminati. Yes. That had to use a lizard as their top secret communication system instead of just using a telephone, sending an email, or sending a letter. Yes. And then I'm going to sue those world leaders, yes, that thought they were going to decide what the world was going to do because of how important they are. And then for every one of you that belongs to one of these top secret societies, trilateral, ooch, Bilderbergs, ooch, Skull and Bones, ooch, or the Council of Foreign Relations. Yes, I'm going to find out what legal obligation you have for the support and defense of the Constitution as well as the International Hague Conventions, the conventions of the United Nations, and then the conventions and treaties of the European Union. Now, there's this place over here called India. Yes, I happen to like very large breasted women from India that like to have children, yes, that have very dark areolas. And the thought was that India, with 1.2, I thought it was closer to 1.4 billion, yes, they could use a lot of the technology that I have, yes. Now, why don't you get me all of the oaths in India? Poop. Because this Indian rupee and then your gross domestic product per capita is $3,900 a year. Your GDP growth, you got certain resources, and agriculture industry. Yes, I would think that you have a mass transit problem. Poop. Now, only 63% of the individuals in India can actually read. Yes. Literacy problem too. They just don't understand. Ooch. Well, I'm thinking that India has an obligation. Ooh, to make sure that the United States enforces all of its conventions, treaties, and agreements. And my thought of suing a large number of elected or appointed oaths, yes, those in the police and sheriff. Oh, why don't you get me? Oh, Interpol, Europol, and then there's Indiapol. Pooch. Just get me those that are in office there in India. Are you an attorney in India? Oh, do you have a bar? You know, there could be a large number of lawsuits available to me for those in India refusing to say anything about the corruption of the United States. Now I'm going to want some volunteers, and considering that well, You're probably 10 to 15% of the world's population. I might need a lot of volunteers from India that want to use their bodies, yes, to keep the world healthy, yes, to make babies. Now I know you're Hindu, Muslim, Christian, or Sikh, yes, got different kinds of languages over there, yes, and you have attorneys in India, yes. Why don't you get me all the law firms in India? And then for every oath of office in each of these nations that participates in these top secret societies, I find out that you're doing it, I will fucking sue the shit out of you.